Hello and welcome. My name is Keating and I'm the CEO and co-founder of XLABS Global. Now, in previous Experience Bites sessions, I've talked about what experience is. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the experience management concept, why people are going into experience management, what do they gain from when they go into experience management. And I'm going to talk about three different things: value, success, and data. So let's just go straight into it and talk about value. So why are organizations now worried about experience? Why are they moving from the service economy into the experience economy? Now, there are typically three things that organizations are looking to gain from and do gain from experience management. Number one is collaboration. They want a better way to collaborate with their end users or their customers, depending on what you call them or what type of organization you are. So we think about how can we collaborate better with your customers to understand how they feel about you today. And from that understanding, we can then start driving better experiences because we'll now know what outcomes they require from your products or services, and what moments that matter for them along the journey are too. And by understanding that, we can start improving them. So we can make sure they get those outcomes. We can make sure they get better moments that matter, which drives a better experience. But so what? Who cares? Why does any of that matter? Because you're going to drive business impact. You're going to make people more productive. You're going to be able to make people more efficient. At least people feel more productive, or at least people feel more efficient. You're going to make them happier. You're going to make them feel more innovative. You're going to drive better behavior at your organization. And if you did those things and made people feel that way and drove them better experiences and better outcomes and better moments that matter, what does that mean for your organization? Have you improved sales? Have you reduced cost? Have you reduced risk in some way? What has been the business impact by doing those things? So it's going to be about collaboration, it's going to be about experience, and it's going to be about business impact. And if you understand that and you think, yes, we can do this at organizations, then I need you to think about three things that are going to make this successful for you: mindset, skill set, and tool set. Now, first of all, mindset. Mindset is about culture. You've got to make sure that in your organization, you have the right culture, not just to measure experience, but to do something about it, to improve it. Experience and XLAs aren't just a metric. It's about improving it that matters. So you've got to have the right culture to do that. Do you have a large ecosystem supporting this? Do you have leadership right from the top that are going to do something about the experiences that you're showing them? And if you feel you have, then you've got to make sure you've got the right skill sets. And that's about people in your organization. Somebody's got to do something at some time to make this happen. You've got to have your version of the XMO, the Experience Management Office. Now, I'm going to talk to you about that in other Experience Bites, so please look out for those. But you've got to have someone doing something to make sure you're just not measuring it, but you're also improving it. And then finally, you've got to have the right tool sets as well. Those team have to have the right tools. You're going to need various different tools depending on the data that you're collecting for that experience, which I'm going to come to in a second for you. But you're also going to need something like our Experience Management Center that we have at XLABS that brings all of this data together for you. So you can see both experience and what experience is, but the causes of that experience, so you can do something about it. So you've got to have the right mindset, the right skill set, and the right tool set. And if you've then worked that through, then you can start thinking about the data that you can collect to make this successful for you. And typically we're collecting three sets of data. We're collecting X data. Now, this is the most important data that you can collect. You cannot have an XLA without X data. X data is sentiment. It's about how people feel. And remember from previous bites, experience is how people feel. So we need to have X data. So you're going to need to have a tool that collects X data. You're then going to collect O data. This is operational data. And this typically informs us as how well did the service operate? How well did we deliver that service? So you're going to need something that's measuring your SLAs and your KPIs, all those kind of things. And then you're also going to need to start looking at T data and start thinking, well, how well did any underlying technology perform? How did that impact our users? So you're going to have a tool for X data, a tool for O data, and a tool for T data. And again, it's not just about having those tools, because you don't want to measure those in silos. You want to make sure that you can see them in one single system. And again, that's where our XLABS EMC will come in to show you both what experience is and the causes of those experiences, so you can do something about it. So if you're going to drive into experience management and you want to gain better experience and you want to gain better impact, business impact, better experiences, and understand better ways to collaborate with your customers or end users, then think about, have you got the right mindset? Have you got the right skill set? Have you got the right tool set? And then start thinking about, okay, for these experiences I want to measure, can I get X data? Can I get O data? Can I get T data? Because X data is going to tell you what people feel, but how well you delivered the service and how well any underlying technology performed will give you insights into why they feel the way they do. So, I hope this session's been useful, and I look forward to seeing you on later Experience Bites.